Joining us now for analysis of these pagers exploding in Lebanon is Kervin, former signals intelligence analyst for the U.S. Army. Kervin, you conducted clandestine signals intelligence operations. How do you view what unfolded here?
First of all, thank you for having me on once again. And I mean, my mind is honestly blown by this, by what Israel allegedly was capable of doing. Look, and it's multiple facets of the intelligence process. So we've got the signals intelligence, which is the fact that cell phones are being targeted. So Hezbollah cell phones are being targeted. I'm sure all Americans and everyone internationally understands that. So they moved to these pagers. Pagers are a one-way communication device. They cannot be located or tracked. So they did that as a security measure, as an operational security or an OPSEC measure. That then moved into a human and supply chain endeavor. And so what it looks like what Israel did here is they disrupted the supply chain of these pagers in order to put explosives in, or and honestly, we just don't know what actually happened. But with the reports that we're getting is that they put explosives into the devices and then put a triggering mechanism that could be remotely detonated, and that is what caused this very targeted from an individual level targeted attack on Hezbollah members and some leadership.
Kervin, I know you're not obviously in the Israeli intelligence, but how would that actually work? I mean, I was thinking through it, and I thought, if they put explosives in these devices and then they were in the open market, anyone could buy them. I mean, obviously they could have been shipped to it could be an express shipment to Hezbollah leaders. But yeah, how do you think this would have unfolded?
Yeah, so Israel was tipped off that an order was placed from Hezbollah for all of its members. They were also tipped off that by Hezbollah themselves through open source information that they're going to start using pagers. So what happened here? What it looks like what happened is Israel got tipped off. They got into the supply chain and they targeted only the pagers that were going to be shipped to Hezbollah. Now, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, not really from Gold Apollo, I don't think, which is the Taiwanese-based company, but BAC Consulting, which is the Hungarian company that actually provided these pagers to Hezbollah. There's a lot of shady things going on when you actually research this company. They started in 2020. They grew very rapidly monetarily. And they were just a consulting firm that, to me, kind of looked like a drop shipping. If you know what drop shipping firms do, they're sort of a third party that kind of sells the equipment and then it gets shipped out, and they don't really have access to it.
Okay, and so we're assuming that Israel did this. What kind of impact could this have on Hezbollah operations? I mean, they have thousands of people injured, potentially 9 dead. I've heard 200 in critical condition. Obviously, they're under the current communications network is knocked out. How could this impact Hezbollah?
It completely disrupts all Hezbollah operations, and that's what's very surprising about what happened yesterday. So typically what you would do in an intelligence operation like this, in disrupting the communications as well as in targeting individuals and injuring those individuals, is then you would have a military operation that would we would see it go into southern Lebanon and kind of take the fight to the rest of the Hezbollah members. And that didn't happen. And we're seeing reports that actually a Hezbollah member had found that the pagers were tampered with. They were getting ready to tell Hezbollah leadership to discard these pagers. It seems like Mossad killed that individual, and another individual who that individual had spoken to. So 2 Hezbollah members were killed. And then as the information was getting out, they decided they needed to conduct this operation before they wanted to, so in order to actually, go through with it without it being disrupted.
So this demonstrates the power, the influence of Mossad, of Israeli intelligence. What kind of message does this incident send to Israel's enemies?
I mean, this it's a devastating message to their enemies. It shows you're not safe, no matter how far back in the past technologically you go. Israel can still target you. We've got targeted assassinations within Iran. We have targeted strikes in Gaza that's affecting Hamas, and now pagers are blowing up in the hands of Hezbollah in Lebanon. So terrorists are not safe in the Middle East from Israel, from Mossad. And that's having a psychological effect on the leadership. It's also having a psychological effect on the people of Lebanon, who reports are indicating that they do not even want to use their cell phones. They can't communicate, and that could cause the Lebanese people to protest, to maybe push Hezbollah out of Lebanon, or to counter what Israel is doing. There's a lot to unpack here. We're gonna be talking about this for maybe years. It's just such an incredible turn of events that happened yesterday.
Yeah, and it comes amid numerous turns of events. I mean, killing of all these leaders in Hezbollah as well as in Iran. Um, it just demonstrates the threat of Israeli intelligence to their enemies. Kervin, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.